Hey, welcome back to my channel, Solo Cruising with Heather. So glad that you decided to check out another one of my videos. So in this video, I'm going to share with you my experience in the cruise port of Dubrovnik in Croatia. It's divided into two parts, the morning and the afternoon. In the morning, I did an organised tour through the cruise ship, and then in the afternoon, I returned to Dubrovnik on my own and did some self-exploration. So I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you do, then please think about giving me the thumbs up and consider subscribing. So let's go. Are you a Game of Thrones fan? Well, I am. I just love that series and I've probably seen it several times, so you can understand why I was super excited to finally arrive in the Croatian port of Dubrovnik. Dubrovnik lies on the Mediterranean Sea and it's a beautiful ancient port and it is a pleasure to visit. And so we sailed in early morning, and I had pre-booked an excursion from the P&O, and here's a look at P&O Azora as she's docked in the port at Dubrovnik. Of note, the ship does not dock in the old original port. It actually docks quite a few miles outside, but I decided to choose an excursion where you got to see Dubrovnik by sea and land. And so the excursion started with a sailing on another boat that sailed around from the cruise ship port to the old city of Dubrovnik. And so it was really exciting to take this journey. And as you can see, we slowly make our way around and the port comes into view. You can see the castle there that was often used to represent King's Landing in the Game of Thrones series. You can actually do a Game of Thrones walking tour of Dubrovnik, so that's something you should consider checking out should you ever make it to this wonderful town. And so the boat pulled in and everything was looking great. We sailed in and met up with our excursion guide, and then we began I think it was like a 3-hour walking tour of the city. So we got to spend a few moments in the port, the old port. As you can see, it looks very familiar to those Game of Thrones fans. So we got to have a look around the port as everyone was disembarking the ship. I got to snap a few photos, and then it was time for us to start our walking tour. And so Dubrovnik is a very walkable city. You could actually probably do this yourself and not do it with a tour guide, but it was great to learn about the history of the city and see some of these famous landmarks pointed out to us. It was quite a hot day, but it was lovely to see some of these familiar buildings I'd recognized from the Game of Thrones sets, including walking down the steps that Cersei Lannister has to walk down when she does her shame walk. So that was very exciting too. So after the tour, we got a chance to just self-explore, and then I returned to the ship for lunch. So after enjoying a very lovely lunch on the P&O Azora, I hopped on the coach that P&O had put on to transport people from the cruise port into Dubrovnik. I think there was like a £10 charge to utilise the coach, but it was very convenient, and it took about 20 minutes from the cruise port to get back to the city of Dubrovnik. So when I arrived back in the city, I walked to where the cable car took off from, purchased my ticket, and then ascended up to the top of Mount Zed. So let's take a look at that. So I arrived back in Dubrovnik and I headed up to find the cable car. It was about a 10-15 minute walk. I purchased a ticket and then we headed up. As you can see from the journey, it was quite an amazing view. And once we got high enough, you could see the entire city wall of the old city of Dubrovnik. It was quite beautiful with its very picturesque red tile roofs of the houses and the buildings. So definitely something you should consider. Got some great images of the city, the sea and the surrounding coastline. Also, looking the other way, you got to look far off in the distance towards Montenegro. Definitely another cruise port I want to stop at. And so after exploring the top of Mount Cerd, I then found this lovely cafe where I had a glass of wine and a delicious slice of apple pie and just enjoyed the total ambience of the experience. So then it was time to return to the ship and it was sail away. The ship sailed away during sunset and we got some amazing views as we sailed out of the harbour and some lovely sunset photographs and videos. So that's it. That was my day in Dubrovnik. Didn't it look fun? Definitely we recommend that you go to Dubrovnik if you get the chance and explore this amazing ancient city. So that's the end of the video. If you enjoyed it, please give me the thumbs up and think about subscribing, and I will see you next time. Bye.